Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to me, your host, Christian Watson. It is good to be with you guys here today. It is just so wonderful. Well, my friends, so unless you've been living under a rock or you are supremely uncultured, you will know that this month, February, commemorates the annual celebration of Black History Month in the United States of America. Indeed, many people have began already posting up their celebrations of various African American figures throughout history, and many people have already began posting up things that are typically associated with the African American diaspora in the United States, cultural symbols on their social media pages, and it's basically necessarily all about celebrating Black excellence or celebrating the heritage that America has that is unique to African Americans, or so supposedly unique to African Americans, of course. Well, at the risk of sounding like a contrarian, I'm not entirely sure we need, or we want even, truly, a Black History Month. Many people think they want it, but if we understood the implications of Black History Month, if we understood the underlying principle which animates Black History Month, I'm not sure some people would want it. Now, I certainly don't want it, understanding that. Black History Month is meant to emphasize on a group of people that were supposedly not emphasized on enough throughout history, and are supposedly not emphasized enough throughout the course of teaching history in many of our schools. That is the premise of Black History Month. And, of course, it's supposed to celebrate the Civil Rights Movement, people like Martin Luther King, people like Shirley Chisholm, as you see on this picture right here, Shirley Chisholm, supposed to commemorate these people. My problem with Black History Month is primarily, it's twofold. Number one, it tries to collectivize history and append history to people who have a singular shared characteristic without taking into account the diverse individualities and personalities of those people. And it expects me to be a part of this holistic mass, this grandiose narrative, simply because I am Black. So me saying that Black History Month is redundant, or Black History Month is not necessarily encompassing of the entirety of what any effort to learn any history should be encompassing of, me saying that is sacrilegious to some people because I'm an African American. I had a comment say to me recently, I'm just virtue signaling for my conservative audience. But it's not necessarily about that. There are plenty of conservatives that support Black History Month. There are plenty of people on the right who support that. I think that it's absolutely fundamentally wrong, though. Ultimately, my friends, my history is not shaped by the fact that I'm Black. It's this pernicious idea of lived experience, which makes so many people sort of have a fetishistic drive towards Black History Month. But my history is shaped by my life, by my values, by my desires, that which I experience, and nothing else. And the history of every single person shaped and praised by Black History Month is also shaped by their life and their desires. There's a big difference between Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks. That doesn't mean they can't be talked about. That doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about them. It simply means that putting them under a single umbrella because of their race seems a little bit antithetical to me to the principle of most equality efforts, which are meant to drive out, an emphasis on our skin color, which are meant to drive out an emphasis on our race, and bring forth a little bit of individuality, a little bit of nuance, a little bit of distinction between African Americans and everyone else. But the biggest issue is, my friends, it's not even that we shouldn't have a celebratory occasion for people. It's the fact that we are reducing people to their skin color. And, of course, someone will say, well, Christian, if we celebrate MLK, we're obviously celebrating his accomplishments. Sure, that's fine. Celebrate him under a different banner. You don't have to have the banner of Black History Month to celebrate MLK. MLK spoke for universal truths. The truth is nonviolent. He spoke the universal truths mostly. Nonviolence, stuff like that. MLK does not have to be lauded under a collectivistic, racially motivated banner. And so when we begin to equalize all distinctions and just say, you know what, these people represent the best of Black folks, or they had a seismic effect for Black folks, we are really just, again, reducing and containing their accomplishments under a bunch of unnecessary minutiae, which is driven primarily by subjective approbations of what these people have done throughout history, rather than focusing on the accomplishments themselves. Black History Month does not tell us entirely about the person themselves. It tells us about the person in relation to them being black. And I don't like that. I don't want that. If we're going to embrace a spirit of epistemic humility and really teach the history of black people in this country, not simply as black history, but as American history, as a part of the history of this nation, as a part of the tumultuous engagements with the American experiment, if we're going to really do that, we have to stop with these false distinctions. We have to stop this reductionist mentality, and we have to understand that people are more than what they appear to be. Even if you want to evaluate their accomplishments in light of what they appear to be, their accomplishments are more important than what they appear to be. The accomplishments of MLK are more important than what he appeared to be, complexion-wise. So, during this Black History Month, instead of embracing this holistic mentality, this unholistic mentality of the black individual, see us simply as individuals and celebrate people who have done great things and who have done things to help further the American experiment, rather than simply celebrating someone or some people on the basis of their skin color. Because in my opinion, that absolutely has no bearing on anything but a pernicious history of racism which plagued the nation. And in some instances, not too many instances, but in some instances, individually plagues the nation to this day. We have to stop seeing race as the creme de la creme of our considerations. We have to begin seeing ourselves as the creme de la creme of our considerations. Our histories as individuals matter more than any grand narrative that politically correct individuals can posit. Think on it. As always, my friends, I love you, and please stay pensive. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you enjoy this message, please be sure to support my channel through PayPal. My PayPal is @officialcwatson, as you see on the screen. Any amount helps. Thank you so much, and stay pensive.